So the phone rings, and on the other end, the voice says, "Hello." And the caller says, "Could I speak to the woman of the home, please?" "She's busy." "Okay, well, I hear a gentleman in the background." "He's busy too." "All right, but they're talking to someone. Could you get one of them to the phone?" "They're talking to the policeman." "Oh, my word. Come on, well, let me speak to the policeman." "He's talking to the fireman." "What in the world is going on there?" "They're looking for me." Today we're talking about an amazing life as family. An amazing life as family. And the reason that I like to every now and then tell a story I've told before is I like to see how it sits with me. I like to see how I've changed in the story. I like to see how I may have grown in some way or on some level from the story that I've been telling. And that is key when it comes to the fundamental belief of what family is meant to be for you and for me, what marriages are supposed to be, what raising ourselves first and foremost, and then considering raising other people. All of those fundamentals are equal to the story that we continue to tell ourselves. And whatever story you continue to tell about your family and your family system is your truth, because it becomes law, and because your word is power, you continue to live in that story over and over and over again. So my goal for you today is that you would be willing, simply be willing, to look at your family from a new window, a different kind of window. And that includes your children. Because there's something about your children that you still feel needs to be changed. It means something fundamentally within you needs to be changed. I mean, we're going to be able to get through this, right? Okay, all right. And so we look at this system that we call family. It's like my wife says, we are as related as we want to be. And I think often in metaphysics people say, well, I have my family, the family that I came from, and yet then I have my chosen family. And I think that's beautiful, and I know for me, my life altered and changed a lot because of chosen family. Because at that particular time, they could see things that were potentially possible for me that I could not see for myself, or my family system didn't have those set of eyes, so they couldn't see it either. But as you live longer, you realize that everything is your chosen family. And if you do not go back and integrate the family that you came from, you will continue to choose that family in your psychology. You will continue to choose that family in your projections and your perceptions. And that family system will continue to reek through the possibilities of how you identify God. Because in many ways, still in 2018, to many people, God is just a big person. Even though in unity, no. In unity, God is a principle. God does not have a personality. God is not a person. God becomes a person through us. That's why we're here. If God was a person, we wouldn't be here. We'd be doing something else. That's our whole job. That's our whole goal. That's our whole incarnation, is to be a person. That was the whole message that Jesus came to teach, is I'm here as God's representative. Because you can't see God, but you can see me because I'm standing here, and I'm going to do some fancy stuff, and I'm going to impress you, and I'm going to change things to wine. I'm glad I didn't learn how to do that. I would kill myself. But anyway, you're going to do some fancy stuff. I'm going to, have people, I'm going to walk on water, and I'm going to do some fancy stuff because I need you to see, because you can't see God. You can't see God. God is not something that you can see. It's something that you experience, and the way you experience is through people. And traditional Christianity has taken that story and just worn it out and created a shame-based, apologetic, codependent society. And it is at times upsetting. At times it's upsetting because it gives people permission to go and listen as adults and have a message that they are unworthy and then go home and tell their children that, and it just wreaks that chain. It's time for that story to transcend. It's time for that story to shift. But in order for that story to shift, we must realize they are our chosen family. And we must integrate in the way of truth and tell the truth and live the truth by way of example. We want to change our children and our community, we change us. And we live in that, and we work with that dynamic, but we definitely want to change our relatability to God. It's important because it is true, what Roxanne said, that our prayers are not new information. We're downloading what's been told to us that's going to happen. And when you say a prayer, you're not saying, I'm saying something I hope somebody somewhere is listening to. What you're saying is, I'm saying a prayer because I'm letting you know I have received this information and I am ready. Say that with me, I am ready. Say that, I'm feeling the nudge. I'm ready to set my family free. Hallelujah. Well, I was just saying hallelujah, but you can say hallelujah. So, in that liking, whether you are a strong advocate for the Bible, you know that we talk about things that are lost. In the Bible, they lost coins, they lost sheep, there was a son lost. There's a lot of metaphors in the Bible about things lost and then they're found. It's the secret to Hollywood, if you haven't figured that out. Boy meets girl, but he loses her because he's got to lose her so he can get her back, because we are fixated on that stuff. Superman had power but lost it and then got it back. Whoa. The reason at the core that is so impressive and a $1 trillion industry is because we really relate to, at a soul core level, about something being lost and needing to be found. The secret, though, is that you are not seeking to find something that you don't have. You're longing to recognize the something that you already are. And it becomes the heroic, you can clap, this is church. And, and it becomes the part of your heroic, your journey. It's because you perceive it's lost, and therefore from that energy field, then you meet people, you connect with people, you grow, you let go, you move forward, and therefore then you are able to find what you've always had. That's the truth. And that's what people often don't understand. You're not going to get something that you've never seen or never witnessed. You're just given permission for something to be seen, heard, felt. It's time for everybody. I say it just about every week. I'm not using it for gay people. I'm meaning it for everybody. It's time to come out of the closet about everything. About everything. About everything. And so if we look at Ephesians 6:2, it says, honor thy father and their mother. Honor thy father and thy mother, and your days will be long on this earth. Yes, you'll be given this promise. Many of you have been brought up that way, of that idea, but to someone else's teaching of what that means. That means anybody can just be anything to you, and you're supposed to say that's okay and be passive. Some people, yes. Some people here, elbow mystics, give me a clue. Yes, you did that. Some of you did that. Absolutely, that piece. But here's the thing. This applies to you today and to me today, whether your parents are living or they are gone. Because whether you are aware of it or not, they are living through you every day of your life. They are living through you, because here's the thing. Living people never die. And there is a veil. There's a veil. I mean, the reason psychics are so famous and because they're popular is because it's real stuff. There's a veil that's there, but these people, our family system, our matriarchs, our patriarchs, our grandparents, they're living all around us. Absolutely. And more importantly, in our psychology, often they are living within us. I was in Bodhi, the Bodhi Center in Chicago, and they told me they wanted me to do a workshop after my talk, and I wasn't quite sure what they were wanting. I never really got clear, and I thought, well, I'll just do my own thing. I know you're surprised about that, but I just felt that. And so I just kind of enveloped the room, because it's like I say to you on Sunday, if you don't have an agenda, something can happen to you. And I've never publicly done this before, but there were 40 people gathered around, and it just felt right. And I just had this energy come about me, and all of a sudden, people came up and started asking questions and stuff, and I just started doing intuitive healing on every person that was willing to come forward. And what I was able to articulate with them, and may I say the presence and power of God through me, okay, I'm not ego tripping here, but because I was willing to be a listener of this, what I could hear from every person that was limited in relationship, finances, success, any level of achievement, is the conversations they had going on, the words they were speaking were not their own. They were living their parents' story over and over again, and their grandparents' story over and over again, and not even conscious that they were doing it. So, how do we overcome it, you might wonder? Thank you for asking. The way that you overcome it is that you begin to be a silent observer of your own reality. You begin to listen with great keenness the words you use about yourself and others. You begin to pay attention, and you ask yourself, is that how I really feel? Where did I get this? Where did I internalize this? Why do I feel this way? Okay, we honor our father and our mother. We honor our guardians by learning to be independent people. People come up to me, they say, I just relocated, Reverend Temple. I'm living in independent living. And I go, well, it's about time. It's about time. We honor our father, our mother, our grandparents when we become interdependent people, fully self-reliant upon God, representing God as a person. That's very powerful, isn't it? But we honor people by telling them the truth. We honor people by telling them our truth, you see. It doesn't mean they've got to buy it, believe it, want to change because, but it's important that we tell people our truth. Yes? And that we speak it from love. My mom, she has had up till now this habit of, I might fly from another country to see her, I might drive to see her, might go through great lengths to do it, to see her, and I sit there on the couch with her, and she proceeds to tell me the people she wished would come by to see her. And it happened a few times, and I had to really check, well, is this my Leo thing happening? Because I'm like, and then I realized that, whoa, wait a minute. She deserves this information. What she does with it is up to her. And I said, Mom, do you realize every time I come, we sit on the couch, instead of us learning about each other, you talk about the people you wish were here. Wow. She never did it again, ever. So it's communication. To honor somebody is to communicate with them. To clearly communicate with children, because they're a lot wiser than you are in the first place, or me, and just communicate with them and stop treating little people like they have little minds because they're bigger than the rest of us. So communicate. And what really gets me going, and I got to stick with the clock because they say time is so important. But anyway, what really gets me is when people have all this drama in their house and they say their kids don't know. And I want to say, honey, they knew before you did. Hello. Anyway, back on principle. Okay. We honor our lives. We honor our story. We're aware of the story we tell. We honor that. It energizes us. When we don't have all these people in our heads and putting a shield over our heart, we're life force. That's what Easter is, resurrection, rejuvenation, energy. We're not toting a whole family around everywhere you go with all this language and conversation. You have a sense of freedom, and you're able to live a non-edited life of just living out loud. And it's very, very powerful. The work is required. But as in Sufism, it says very clearly, don't feel like this work is keeping you from your spirituality. It's the very thing that's going to bring the revelation and resurrection of your spirituality to you. It's a very powerful experience. And the other part is that you forgive. Forgive whomever you're toting around. Because if you haven't forgiven them, they're still with you. They're living through you. And more often than not, unconsciously living as you. That's why they say, when you have disharmony with your parents, you wake up one day and you just like them. I know that doesn't apply to any of you, but we got people listening online. So I'd like to share with you that through the years, my father and I were very much alike. He died in 2002, and through the years we're really close. He's like one of my soul mates, and we're just really close, and we communicate, we talk, and I feel him. I feel him helping sometimes in my life and stuff like that. And anyway, but through the years, I've had a knee that really bothers me. And I would say, if my dad hadn't just said to me over and over and over again, when I used to slide in softball, if he hadn't said to me that one day you're going to regret that, you're going to wish you hadn't done that because that knee's really going to hurt you. Well, hello, self-fulfilled prophecy, right? So I have this knee thing going on. And as I was working with this material and this energy over the last 2 or 3 months, I said, I need to forgive him and stop blaming my current knee issue on somebody that's not even here anymore. And I need to forgive him and really accept some responsibility here. And I said, Dad, I forgive you for the statements that you made. I no longer accept them. I'm a unity person. I don't believe in that. My other knee doesn't hurt, and it's the same age, and I'm not going to buy that. And I said, so since you're in there with the angels and you're all connected and everything, heal my knee. And all these doors opened up that my knee is about 90% better most of the time, often feeling healed. So with your life, discord, disease, ailment, inner pain, arthritic pain, in some cases, not all, what is related to a family, of a system, of a story that keeps living over and over again, you see. It's very freeing. It's very powerful. And it brings to this place this amazing thing called life as family, that everywhere you are, we are connected. We have work to do. We have energy to give. We need to know that throughout our culture and throughout our nation, that families are going to be reunited. That's our work. But we're going to do that work through powerful prayer and through powerful knowing, not through continuing to wreak separation, you see. And so it's in that energetic field that we pray and that we know and that we declare. And we declare that we understand that you understand deeply that you are God's representative as person, an independent living, as self-reliance, as an energized spirit, that the only story you have is the story that you have convinced yourself is yours. Thank you for coming. God bless you. Thank you.